Hello, we will be talking about the ethical implications and potential harm of unrealistic beauty standards on Instagram. The impact of social media, specifically Instagram, on makeup culture, self-esteem, and consumerism is a topic of growing concern. With over 1 billion monthly active users, Instagram has emerged as one of the most popular social media platforms. In recent years, it has become a hub for makeup fans, bloggers, and beauty influencers, giving rise to a new kind of makeup culture that heavily influences that industry. However, the impact of social media on makeup culture goes beyond just the industry. It has also affected the way we perceive ourselves and our self-esteem, creating an unrealistic beauty standard. Social media has also led to an increase in consumerism, with brands reaching a wider audience through paid partnerships with influencers. The rise of beauty influencers on Instagram began in 2013, leading to a significant change in the beauty industry, with brands shifting their focus to social media marketing. While Instagram has given a platform to talented makeup artists and beauty influencers, it has also created an unrealistic beauty standard that can lead to self-esteem issues. Moving forward, it is essential to be mindful of the impact of social media on our perception of beauty and consumerism. The impact of unrealistic beauty standards on Instagram is felt by various groups of people, including young girls/women, users who already suffer from mental health problems, and Instagram influencers themselves. Instagram influencers may face the Faustian bargain of gaining more followers and likes in exchange for pressure and a lack of creativity, leading to more pressure to filter oneself for validation from others. Limiting Instagram use can decrease exposure to content that negatively affects body image, but it can also lead to loneliness and social isolation. Mental health communities and resources can bring support and increase interconnectedness, but there is also content that may attack vulnerable people and increase anxiety and depression. An example of this Faustian bargain is that transgender and gender-diverse adolescents use social media platforms, including Instagram, to explore their sexual health and identity, and to connect with other LGBTQ teens. This is especially valuable for those teens living in rural areas who may have limited access to role models within their communities. However, these teens also face victimization on social media due to their gender identities, and as a result, those who experience bullying on social media often report high levels of depression and suicidal thoughts and behaviors. While Instagram has its benefits, the negative impact of unrealistic beauty standards and cyberbullying cannot be ignored. A hidden feature of Instagram is that its algorithm prioritizes content that receives a strong emotional response, including highly edited photos that show an idealized version of people's lives. According to the National University of Singapore, this leads to a distorted view of reality and low self-esteem, prompting users to present a perfect image of themselves and compare themselves to others. The conceptual muddle here is that interpretations exist about what counts as idealized or harmful content. Some might argue that certain lifestyle choices should be promoted, while others might view them as unhealthy. In terms of a policy vacuum, individuals need to take responsibility for their Instagram use and engage with content that promotes diversity and positivity or content unrelated to appearance. In a study, participants were shown two types of photos: appearance conscious photos from fitness, modeling, and beauty Instagram accounts, and control photos from nature, food, and home decor accounts. The study found that those who viewed the appearance-conscious photos experienced an increase in negative mood and anxiety compared to those who viewed the control photos. Although some studies have revealed a correlation between certain behaviors and increased body dissatisfaction, along with negative outcomes in young women linked to the consumption of idealized images, not enough public health initiatives exist to address these concerns. While the body positivity movement has been led by some social media influencers, a greater commitment is required to raise awareness and promote positivity concerning body image issues, especially related to social media posting practices. Policymakers must consider trade-offs in restricting Instagram use to avoid unintended consequences, such as limiting connections and opportunities for self-expression. Finally, there is a debate about how much responsibility should be on individuals versus broader society/policymakers. While education about the harms of Instagram is essential, some believe that individuals are responsible for the content they engage with on social media. We will use four ethical frameworks to analyze the implications of Instagram's impact on beauty standards, self-esteem, and consumerism. The utilitarian framework evaluates ethical issues based on the consequences of an action. In this case, the promotion of unrealistic beauty standards on Instagram can harm individuals with body image issues. According to a study, exposure to idealized beauty standards on social media can lead to increased body dissatisfaction and negative self-image. This, in turn, can contribute to the development of eating disorders or body dysmorphia. Thus, promoting unrealistic beauty standards on Instagram may provide short-term benefits to the makeup industry and influencers, but the long-term consequences can harm individuals with body image issues. Therefore, the utilitarian framework would argue for the regulation of Instagram content while to prevent the promotion of unrealistic beauty standards and protect the mental health of vulnerable individuals. The deontological framework evaluates ethical issues based on adherence to moral principles and duties. In this case, the promotion of unrealistic beauty standards on Instagram can violate the principle of non-maleficence, which requires individuals to avoid causing harm to others. Individuals with eating disorders or body dysmorphia are particularly vulnerable to the harmful effects of unrealistic beauty standards on Instagram. For example, Kim Kardashian's Instagram account had gathered 269 million followers as of December 2021. Her posts regularly portray her as perfect and highly attractive, which has sparked criticism due to concerns that this image could be harmful to young girls who may compare themselves negatively to the influencer, leading to lower self-esteem. As such, the deontological framework would argue for the regulation of Instagram content to ensure that it adheres to the principle of non-maleficence. Specifically, Instagram should prohibit the promotion of unrealistic beauty standards that could cause harm to the individual with body image issues. The ethics of care framework emphasizes the importance of emotional care, particularly for young women who are vulnerable to negative content on social media. Women who are young and have a higher BMI tend to report feeling more dissatisfied with their body image and less appreciative of their bodies. This suggests that the current beauty standard still places a strong emphasis on being thin. Providing emotional support and creating a safe space for users should be a priority for companies like Meta, which owns Instagram. Meta has a responsibility to provide emotional support and create a safe space for its users. However, they are interested in their profits, so the emotional well-being of users is not prioritized. Also, different groups have different needs and experiences that must be taken into account. For example, some young women would prefer to receive content that promotes diversity and positivity, whereas some don't want access to certain content restricted. It is challenging to provide care for all groups and prioritize whose voices should be heard. While listening to affected groups increases empathy and compassion, it is also possible that Meta will seek out voices that serve their interests. It is not ethical for Meta to prioritize its profits and growth over the emotional well-being of its users, which violates the principles of empathy and compassion. It is critical under the Rawlsian justice to guarantee that all individuals have equal chances and advantages, even if this means that some people have less. In the case of food bloggers and influencers, the establishments that can't keep up with the demand to develop aesthetically pleasing dishes to entice customers are likely to be the poorest. Using this concept, putting pressure on restaurants is to provide visually appealing meals that may compromise the quality of the cuisine is unethical, as it is not fair to the least well-off establishments. The focus of fairness and equal opportunity is one of Rawlsian justice's strengths, although it may not be realistic to attain complete equality and balance in all situations. After considering all four of the ethical frameworks we have discussed, we believe that utilitarianism provides a promising approach to addressing the ethical implications of promoting unrealistic beauty standards on Instagram. By implementing public health interventions to raise awareness about the harmful effects, such as content, and promoting diverse and positive content, the self-esteem and well-being of the majority can be improved. The body positivity movement, initiated by some influencers in the recent lockdown, according to the Core University, have already demonstrated the benefits of prioritizing the well-being of Instagram users. However, interventions aimed at female adolescents and young women, such as the Boost Body Confidence and Social Media Savvy intervention, should specifically consider the social media context and highlight the nature of and detrimental consequences of exposure to manipulated photos and stories. Makeup influencers and brands must prioritize their followers' well-being and promote positive body image and self-esteem. Therefore, regulating Instagram content is necessary to prevent the promotion of unrealistic beauty standards and protect vulnerable individuals, particularly those with body image issues such as eating disorders or body dysmorphia. Thank you.